To be a painter, all you need is nothing, and most people don't have that. Now I know you're thinking, Bri, that sounds glib, and it kind of does, but what I mean is there is great value in not trying too hard. And I say often, a painter is born the moment he or she gives up. Artists often complain that there's nothing left to paint anymore. The same flowers or figure or landscape becomes plain and boring. That's exactly what you should be working for. Charles Hawthorne said, a painter should intentionally seek out boring and plain things for subject matter, working for a harmony of color and the extraction of poetry from the ordinary. The best news I can give you is that everything has been painted, just not by you. We all know what a flower looks like, just not your flower. That's what we want to see. That's what people will pay to see. And that's the point of all art, to have telepathy into the nervous system and heart of another human being, to see the world through their eyes. That's what will expand us. So when I say not to try too hard, what I mean is that everything you need to be a painter, you already possess, and you always have, probably since the first grade. Your job is to manufacture boredom. That's what will give you access to those things. Lock yourself in your creepy little studio. Drive long distances across state lines alone. Walk around the block. Bounce a tennis ball against a wall over and over again. Order a big basket of French fries and eat them slowly, one by one, while staring at a blank wall. I'm going to do that later today. We offer a world obsessed with velocity the gift of slow seeing and slow thinking. Our product is anti-speed. Art is carefully orchestrated wandering. If you're in a hurry, you'll miss everything. Painting is the easiest job in the world, except for the painting part. That takes decades and decades to learn how to handle paint. But everything you need, you already have. Just manufacture the boredom to have access to those things and then let them permeate every atom in your body. That's what will make you 10 feet tall and bulletproof. To be a painter, you must sit with your back to the window. Because New York City is a collection of small neighborhoods, you get to know everyone. We know the local flower store guy, the bookstore people, the fruit stand lady, and the dry cleaner. And my wardrobe is essentially a combination of panhandler and golf pro. I rarely wear suits and ties. So my dry cleaner knows whenever I bring my suits in to be clean, like I am right now, something is wrong. He must be having an opening. In episode 55, I talked about showing in college art galleries. Now I'd like to talk about showing in commercial galleries and museums. And since I have openings in both in the same week, I got you a plane ticket, to come along, sit beside me, and see it from my vantage point. Throughout my career, I have had the honor of having shown in several small to medium-sized American museums. And as a student of art history, I place very great value on the work those museums do in their communities. They offer us a sanctuary, a place to slow down and immerse ourselves in an intellectual and emotional experience for the sheer pleasure of it. We need what they give us. We need slowness and quiet time, and they need our support, now more than ever. Fuck. It's 3:45 in the morning, and I have an early flight to Detroit and then on to Saginaw. The only people up at this awful hour are doctors and painters. We are the night breed. And I need coffee really bad. One of the world's great inventions, the 24-hour deli. I've been to Michigan several times for exhibitions, for lectures, and even to jury a show once. And I find the audience for painting there robust and receptive, so I am delighted to be going back. This show at the Saginaw Art Museum is a small survey show of sorts. There's 35 paintings going back 20 plus years, and it was all arranged by the Gerald Melberg Gallery in Charlotte and with the assistance of Forum Gallery in New York City. It takes years to do these types of shows because works are borrowed back from multiple sources. So there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of coordinating of shipping. I do nothing. I just show up for the opening, which is nice. Okay, I'm here. It wasn't a bad flight. It's really cold. Saginaw Art Museum opened in 1948. First in a private home that was built in 1903, and then adding a contemporary wing built in 2014. That's where my show is. The galleries house an impressive collection of French 18th century painting and decorative arts, American and European 19th century painting, American realism, and Asian art. A museum relies on three primary revenue streams: government grants, private donations, and earned revenue, which includes memberships, admission fees, gift shops, and space rentals. A museum show takes 2 to 5 years to plan and requires the talent and hard work of numerous people, from curators, registrars, dealers, and collectors. Paintings are borrowed from multiple sources, which requires extensive coordination of insurance, trucking, art handling, and publicity. Unlike a commercial gallery, which introduces a new body of work to the public with the goal of hopefully placing those works in a collection, a museum show examines an artist's vision in greater breadth and looks at a carefully curated body of work in a larger historical context. The museum will use wall texts, docents, school tours, and lectures to give the public a greater insight into the artist. I have rituals before New York City openings. I like to sit in the Penguin House at the Central Park Zoo, alone. Tylenol goes in one pants pocket, Breath Savers in the other. And I get a cab to get to the gallery about 15 minutes early to thank the staff for their hard work. New York City is still the capital of the art world, and gallery neighborhoods come and go. There was Soho, now it's Chelsea and the Lower East Side, but the perennial gallery spot is still 57th Street and the Upper East Side. We're looking down 57th Street here. I wish my parents could have seen me have a street-level Park Avenue show, especially my dad. I remember my mom whispering in one ear, "Be practical," and my dad would whisper in the other, "Be a nut." Unlike a museum exhibition, which takes 2 to 5 years to plan and might remain on view for 3 or 4 months, a commercial gallery might show the work of an artist every couple of years. Those shows are scheduled about 1.5 years in advance and typically last 4 to 6 weeks. Because commercial galleries are free and open to the public, they rely on sales to stay in business. Each show highlights a single artist's vision and also reflects the aesthetic of the gallery. Their job is also to place that artist's work in a contemporary context, up against all of the other work being made in the art world. And you know as well as I that the art world is obsessed with novelty. So the galleries that last are the ones who have a clear vision and stick with their artists as trends come and go. A good gallery becomes like family and handles business stuff so that the artist can do what they do best. The gallery can also help with legal matters, finding studio space, making travel arrangements, and in my case, babysitting. They also publicize, However, I'm a big believer in also promoting one's own work. I learned how to do that when no gallery would even look at my paintings. I've had over 100 opening nights, and I still get nervous before every single one. And it's the same shit we all went through in high school. Will anyone show up? Will they like the work? But I consider myself extremely lucky to be able to have shows. With all of that said, the hard part is getting into a gallery in the first place. And there are no formulas here. I did it by starting locally and keeping my expectations low. I showed in libraries, college galleries, medical office lobbies, restaurants, all in the Carolinas. And then eventually got into group shows in smaller southern cities, then solo shows, and then on to group shows in major cities, and then solo shows. But it took decades and decades, a lot of stubborn persistence, and a lot of rejection. The most important thing you can do is show up. When the world says no, you say yes, and you keep showing up. One of my favorite quotes is from the boxer Mike Tyson, who said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." You're going to get punched in the mouth, I promise. But the artists who really make it over the long haul are the nut jobs who keep showing up. I know a lot of famous older painters, and with the exception of one, all of them feel like they should be more respected and more famous than they are. I don't want to ever be like that. Every dream I've ever had has already been surpassed because I love the thing. I love showing up and making my work. When I didn't have a studio, I made small paintings. When I had terrible odd jobs, I woke up earlier. I did whatever I had to do to keep doing the thing. That's the most important part, is your love of the thing. Be kind to people. That helps a lot. And stay soft. That's what will make you an artist. And remember Mike Tyson.